Number 4 ranked UFC heavyweight, Curtis Razor Blaydes, who's coming off a big win at UFC 266. Curtis, good to sit down and talk. How are things with you today?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. As I mentioned, we're coming off this win over Rozenstruik a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks to digest the results. How happy are you with this performance?
I mean, I'm happy I got the win because that's the main goal. But I do believe the performance was a little beneath my standards. I was hoping to get the finish. I was hoping to do a lot more ground and pound, but he did a good job of breaking down my posture. I wasn't able to get the leverage I needed to drop any heavy elbows. I was able to get in a few, but they weren't like the good ones. So I was a little disappointed in the lack of ground and pound. But besides that, like I was very happy with my striking. Very happy with my range, my distance, footwork, everything overall. Besides the lack of ground and pound.
Obviously, the third round you suffered the injury to, I believe, was your right eye. Have you had any lasting damage over that? Has that healed 100% yet?
Almost. I wouldn't say 100, maybe like 80.
Yeah.
I think it hasn't been a month yet. It's been almost a month.
Yeah.
So I won't get back to sparring until like after Halloween, but I'm actually going to do my first jiu-jitsu workout today. I haven't been in the gym at all over the past few weeks ever since the fight. Had to let it heal up. I had a slight hairline fracture.
Yeah. Do you often take time off after a fight? How long would you? I know this was an injury, but how long would you normally take after a fight?
Usually just about a week. I like to get back in because it's easy to get out of conditioning. It's hard to get it back.
Yeah.
So I learned when you have the longer the break, the harder it is to get back into shape. So I usually just a week, but because of the injury, I had to extend it.
Yeah. Can I ask as well, obviously that was a terrible injury, if you like, to your right eye in that fight. What is it like when an injury happens in the middle of a fight like that's so compromising to your game plan and your skill set? What is going through your head when that happens?
Doesn't matter. I mean, we still got a job to do. Like the Lord blessed me with a spare eye, so I was able to use that. And you don't need both your eyes to fight. I don't know if that sounds barbaric or not, but you don't need them both. So I was able to get by. And when it happened initially, you know, adrenaline's going high. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt, and I could feel the swelling immediately. Like I could feel my eye getting heavy, which is all that juice getting in there. But I knew I only had one more round left. I'm not going to let a swollen eye get in the way of me getting this hard-fought W.
Yeah. Listen, the quote you just said there about you only need one eye to fight, us Brits know that better than anyone, given our only UFC champ, Michael Bisping.
Oh, yeah.
Won the world title with one eye.
Yeah. There you go. You only need one eye.
Yeah. Listen, I want to be very respectful when I ask this next question, but there was a little bit of booze, a little bit of perhaps disappointment with the fans. How does that make you feel as an athlete? Because you're there to win, but you are also there to entertain. How does that make you feel when you're in the octagon?
I mean, yeah, I hear the boos, but boos aren't going to get me to make a mistake. Like they were booing because there wasn't a lot of action, but it takes two people to fight. Yeah. He wasn't being aggressive. He wasn't engaging. He wanted to catch me on a bad entry. He wanted to get me like what happened with Derek Lewis. I know that's what he was thinking. He kept going backwards. He kept dropping his rear hand. He wanted to land the uppercut. Obviously, I learned my lesson, so I'm not going to do the exact same thing I did the previous fight. So if people want to be upset because I'm being smart and I don't do bar brawls. I don't do slugfest.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. They want slugfest. They forget a heavyweight. We're not small guys. Like anyone below heavyweight, even light heavyweight, they can have those exchanges and be all right. But heavyweight, it only takes one jab, and that could be the fight. So I had to play it smart, and I know it wasn't the most exciting, but a win's a win. I needed that win. I needed that win bonus. Couldn't afford to come home with half a paycheck. I couldn't do that.
I'll be honest with you, Curtis. I think that the characterization that fight was boring was quite unjust, especially on your end, to be honest. As you mentioned, Rozenstruik, it takes two to tango, and Rozenstruik had a similar problem in his last fight with Gane. Sorry, his fight earlier in the year with Gane. Do you think that characterization of the fight being boring was unjust, or can you see where a fan who says that is coming from?
Well, no, I do think it's unjust because it wasn't boring. There was action. It just wasn't non-stop action. Like there were periods where, yeah, he's reading me, I'm reading him. He's smart. He did his best to not give up the takedowns. He knew the more aggressive he was, the easier it is for me to get to his hips. So he wasn't being aggressive. Like I can't blame him for being smart, for not making it easy for me to take him down. That's his job. But on the other side, you can't blame me for not making his job easy. I'm not gonna just shoot from halfway across the octagon and give him an easy uppercut. So it wasn't boring. It was a smart fight. We both were smart, and I was just able to implement my game plan a little better than he was. But I don't think it was boring. No.
Yeah, I agree. I wanted to ask you this as well, because I had a look at the top 10 of the heavyweight division in anticipating we're talking with you today. You're the youngest fighter in the UFC heavyweight top 10 at the moment. So I want to ask how far you think you can improve your skill set at just 30 years of age, when a lot of these guys are mid to late 30s already.
I've got a lot of room to grow. Like I'm only a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I mean, and my striking, there's just so much. Every time we peel back a layer, I realize just how many more layers there are to striking. There's so much just with jabs. There's so much just with footwork and head movement and switching stances. There's a lot of room to grow, and I plan on in 4 or 5 years, hopefully I plan on being at least a brown belt by the end of jiu-jitsu, and that's going to take a lot of work. But then also my hands are growing every week. I get a little better. I get a little more experience. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to striking. It's not so much technique as it is experience. Like being able to predict, like, okay, he's jabbing. I smell the head kick, or I smell the hook. Just the more you do it, the more experience you get, and the more comfortable you get. And when you get comfortable, that allows you to be more aggressive. So it's just a gradual progression. But yeah, I've got a lot of room to grow.
Obviously, you come from your wrestling background. I think people don't have to watch much tape on Curtis Blaydes to know that you've got that wrestling background. But we're talking about improving your striking. Is there anyone in the gym or anyone in the UFC that you look at and try and model your striking on, try and take a little bit of their game and implement into your own?
I do that with everyone. We have so many talented guys in our gym, particularly with the strikers. We have okay.
A little bit of a technical difficulty there, but Curtis, you were talking about improving your striking through some of the guys in the gym.
Yeah, we have a lot of great guys in the gym to take ideas and skill sets from guys like Gaethje. I like how he has more of a boxing heavy approach. He's not really looking to use the grappling, so his hands are they're lower. I like how he throws his hooks. I've been drilling hooks with him. I like who else? Corey Sandhagen. I like how he switches stances. That's where I got the idea from. I started working on that a few years ago when I watched him doing that against it's one of his early on UFC opponents. I think it was the debut for him, but I watched that and I was like, I like that. And there's someone else, Neil. I like how he uses his jab. He has a nice long jab. He doesn't put a lot of power on it, but he uses it as like a smoke screen. I like that. Because I use the jab to smoke screen for like my double legs. So there's a lot that I like to glean from the other guys in the gym because they're all good and they all use specific skill sets in a specific way that works with their game plan. I just take what I want.
I was going to ask about this because, and once again, I want to be respectful how I asked this, but I thought your striking looked next level in the Derek Lewis fight. I thought you showed a real level up until the knockout happened. And I really did. I remember looking at that and thinking, wow, Curtis is looking fantastic here. So if we take the positives from that fight, I think you're striking. You seem to be someone as well who we can see real pronounced improvements fight to fight in your striking, which is of course a good thing, of course.
I work hard on it. Like I put hours and hours into it because I know I'm going to need it. So the more you drill it, drills build skills. I put hours into my striking. Me and my striking coach, we meet up 8 hours a week. We're working with each other, and that's just like working. We're always talking and dissecting other guys. We watch film on other guys. Not just heavyweights, just guys we like Izzy. I like watching Stylebender. I know I'm not gonna be able to move like Stylebender, but if there's like he switches stances, I like how he switches stances. I like how he disguises it. There's things we work on with that. I'm sorry, Mama.
Hello,
I'm sorry,
there.
Mama. I'm sorry. I know, Mama. Okay. I'm so sorry.
Not a problem. Don't worry about it. Papa Blaydes.
Oh, jeez. What are you?
So, Curtis, we've talked about improving your striking. We've talked about some of the guys you're working with. Ideally, when's a good time to get back in the octagon? What would be a good day for you?
Well, I'm definitely won't be getting in one this year because I'm already a little bit out of my conditioning's already dropped a little bit, so I have to get back into shape. But I will be down for late January, early February, because really there's not really an option yet either. I have to see. I know there's a guy who called out Derek Lewis. He got that matchup, so if he beats Derek, maybe I fight that guy. Or I don't know what's going on with John Jones. Well, I don't think anyone knows what's going on with John Jones. I don't know what's going on with Stipe. Is he going to retire? What is he doing? And then maybe I get the loser of Ngannou versus Gane. So it's just a lot of options, and it hurts my head to think about it. So I think it'll be easier to decipher who's my next opponent, and then when I'll actually be fighting after the holidays. I think it'll be easier.
You laid out after your win against Rozenstruik who you wanted next. You said Stipe, you said John Jones, or the winner, or indeed the loser of Ngannou Gane. I'm going to ask you plainly, out of them 4 opponents, who do you think is most likely to be your next fight?
Most likely, probably the loser of Ngannou Gane. That's most likely, but I'm open. I'm open to John. I'm open to Stipe. Like I feel like I'm matched up with either one of those guys very well. I definitely have the grappling advantage. I have the power advantage, the size, maybe not the speed, but I don't think they're going to be that much faster than me. I have the reach advantage. I match up very well with those guys, so I'm open to both those matchups. But the most realistic one is probably the loser of the championship fight.
Who do you favour in the championship fight? Who do you think will win between Ngannou and Gane at 270?
I mean, I'm gonna say I favor Gane just because he has a lot more ways to win. He's a more skilled guy. He actually knows how to strike. Like a lot of people calling Ngannou a good striker. He's not. He's a strong striker, but is he technically good? No. His hips are everywhere. His elbows are everywhere. His face is up. He makes a lot of mistakes, but at heavyweight, you can get away with those mistakes because it's not really about skill, it's about power. And he has a lot of that. And he has reach. He has I know his reach is, I'm 80 and a half. I think his is 82 inches. So he's got the longest arms in the division, but he only has one way to win, and he runs out of gas. Like after the first round, I think he'll be out of gas. So the longer it goes, the more it plays into Gane. But you never know. With Ngannou, he might just go out there in the first round and blitz him because he knows he has to get him out of there. Yeah. But if I were a betting man, I'll go with Gane.
Obviously, you've got the 2 losses to Ngannou. So from your perspective, would it be better for your career if Gane won the world title? Because it would make more sense to make the Gane Blaydes fight down the line than perhaps a trilogy with yourself and Francis.
Yeah, I mean that makes it easier because I get it. That's more of a promotional aspect. Like it's easier for the UFC to promote me versus Gane. It's a fresh matchup. We haven't gone against each other. I know it's harder to get people behind me going against Ngannou again, but I believe I've got the best chance to beat him. I'm the only one who can put him on his back, and that's the best way to beat him is put him on his back, gas him out. Now, do I think that he's going to improve over the years with the wrestling? No, I think he's always going to be bad at wrestling. So I'm always going to have that like ace in my pocket. So I think I'm always going to be a viable option. It's just harder for the UFC to promote it, which I understand. I get it. I lost twice. So we'll see. I don't know how it works, but we'll see.
Yeah. Where is Curtis Blaydes in 12 months' time? What do you want to accomplish by October 2022?
I'd like to have the belt by then. We'll see. Because I win the next one, depending on who they give me. I win that one, I should be up for the belt. Like had I beat Lewis, I would have fought for the interim belt. And had I beat Gane, I'd be. So it's a lot of ifs, a lot of alternate realities, you know.
Yeah. Well, as we said, that you're the youngest man in the top 10. You've got if you think about the clock running out, you've got the largest clock at the moment. And you've, as we mentioned, you know, the improvements you've made, I think in your early UFC run only puts you in a good position to make them further improvements. And another thing is, Curtis, you're number 4. You're a prospect in terms of age, but in terms of stature, you're right there.
Yeah, no, I feel good. This is what I always tell people when they ask me, like, am I in a rush? I'm like, I'm not in a rush. I got a whole other 8 years. I got 8 more years to get whatever I need to get it done. And there's a lot of growth that's going to be happening in those 8 years. So I know eventually I'll get the belt. I may not have it a year from now, but eventually everyone else is just going to retire or just get older, get slower, get worse. And I'm just going to keep on getting better. I haven't reached my peak yet, not by a mile.
Is there any young up-and-coming heavyweights, maybe in the UFC ranks or on regional promotions, you look at and go, in the future, perhaps he could be a problem? Is there anyone at all that's caught your eye?
Yeah, there's a few guys. I know there's a Brit, Tom Aspinall. He looks nice. He looks decent. There's a Russian dude also. I forget his fight name. He's like the the bear, Russian bear. He wrestles a lot.
Pavlovich, is that?
I think it sounds like it, but I know I watched him and I was like, okay, he wrestles. He knows how to like wrestling, so he could be a threat. Those are really the only ones I'm like, okay, these guys got potential. Everyone else is like your basic run-of-the-mill heavyweight.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, I want to turn for the one final question. I want to turn the conversation away from fighting. I want to turn something to a little bit more personal because I know that you're due to be married in the next couple of weeks. So congratulations, first and foremost, and talk to me a little bit about how prep's been. Are you getting nervous towards the big day?
No, man. We've been together for 2.5 years. We have a daughter together. We live together. So for me, it's not really going to be that big of a difference. It's like we go everywhere together. We go to dinner. We go on vacations with each other. So we've been doing the married life for over a year already. This is just going to add like put it in stone, I guess. But for me, it's not really that much of a difference. I know for her it is because it always is for girls. For girls, this is the highlight of her life. So I'm just happy I can give her the wedding that she's always wanted. And it'll be fun to have all my family and the friends. And it's pretty much the way I view it. This is like a party. Because we actually already got married. You have to do it like with the state. We did it already. We did it online. We already signed over the license and everything. So she's officially already my wife. I feel the same. So
what is the date? When is the date?
It's the 11th of November.
Okay, well, congratulations, and I hope you have a great day with both yourself and Mrs. Blaydes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Before we finish, Curtis, how can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Razor Blaydes 265.